Right, so you want to know about my family, the Cherry Grove Gang. Sounds a bit dramatic, doesn't it? Like we're some sort of criminal organization. But the only thing we're guilty of is stealing the last roast potato when no one's looking. We're not a gang in the traditional sense. We're more of a loud, slightly dysfunctional, but brilliant collection of people who happen to be related. We gather at my stepmom Yvonne's house, and it's always an event. Imagine a circus, but with better food and more arguments about board games. It's organized chaos, and honestly, I wouldn't have it any other way. It's where life happens, you know? Every family has its cast of characters, and ours is no exception. It's a proper sitcom waiting to be written. You've got the one who tells stories that get bigger with every telling, the one who thinks they're a fashion icon but can't win a simple game, and the one who just wants to make sure everyone has a sausage sandwich. It's a mix of personalities so different you wonder how we all came from the same gene pool. But that's the beauty of it, isn't it? It's not about being the same. It's about fitting together despite the differences, like a jigsaw puzzle that's been dropped on the floor a few times. The picture is still there, it's just a bit unique. Our get-togethers are legendary, mostly because something always goes wrong in a very funny way. One time, my brother Callum tried to set up a sound system for a party and blew the fuse for the entire street. We had dinner by candlelight, which Yvonne said was romantic until we realized he'd also blown the fuse for the oven and the chicken was still raw. We ended up with pot noodles and crisps, and it was one of the best nights ever. That's the thing about this family. Even our disasters are worth remembering. We find the humor in everything because if you don't laugh, you'll cry, and crying is just a waste of good hydration. So, let me introduce you properly. This isn't just a list of names, it's a guide to surviving a family gathering at Cherry Grove. You need to know who to go to for a good story, who to avoid when they've lost at Monopoly, and who will sneak you an extra slice of cake. Each person is a vital part of our little ecosystem. They're the people who've seen me at my worst and still, for some reason, let me come back for more of Yvonne's cooking. They're my gang. And while we might not be perfect, we're perfectly us. And that's more than enough. It's brilliant, actually. Let's start with the pillars of the family. First, there's Yvonne, my stepmom. She's the queen of the kitchen. Her dinners are the stuff of legend. We're talking roast dinners that could make a grown man weep with joy. She throws parties like it's an Olympic sport, and she always goes for gold. I remember one summer barbecue where she'd made so much food we were still eating the leftovers a week later. She just loves seeing everyone together, happy and well-fed. She'll walk around beaming, saying,
"Is everyone having a good time? Do you need another drink?"
She's the heart of the operation, the glue that holds all the chaos together with a perfect gravy. Then you've got my Auntie Louise. She's a woman of simple pleasures, her garden shed and a good sausage sandwich. That shed is her kingdom. No one is allowed in there without an invitation. She says it's where she does her pottering, but I think she's secretly running a small country from a deck chair.
And her sausage sandwiches? Unbelievable. She has a specific way of making them. The bread has to be the cheap white kind, plenty of butter, and the sausages have to be slightly burnt. It's a culinary masterpiece. She'll emerge from the shed, holding a plate of them, and a hush will fall over the garden. A true artist.
Michael is our resident storyteller. He's got a story for every occasion, and they're never boring. The thing is, you're never quite sure how much of it is true.
Did I ever tell you about the time I met a member of the royal family in a lift?
And you just have to go with it. He'll act out all the parts, using different voices and wild hand gestures. We all sit there, captivated, even though we've heard the story about the lift at least 5 times. Each time a new detail is added. Last time there was a corgi involved. He just has this way of making the mundane sound magical, and that's a real gift. And finally there's Francis. How do you describe Francis? He's just a top bloke, genuinely. He's the one who will help you move a sofa without complaining, the one who remembers everyone's birthday, and the one who will listen to your problems over a pint. He doesn't demand the spotlight. He's just consistently, reliably a good man. In a family full of loud characters, his quiet decency stands out. He's the calm in the storm, the one you can always count on. Every family needs a Francis. He's the anchor. Without him, we'd all probably just float away on a sea of chaos and slightly burnt sausages. Now for my generation, it gets a bit louder here. My brother Callum is the wildest of the bunch. He lives his life at 100 miles an hour. If there's a party, he's not just at it. He is the party. He's the first one on the dance floor and the last one to leave. His idea of a quiet night in involves a smoke machine and a disco ball. I once saw him try to teach my nan how to do the floss dance at a wedding. It was a sight to behold.
He's got so much energy, it's exhausting just watching him. But his enthusiasm is infectious. You can't help but get swept up in it. He reminds us not to take life too seriously.
Then there's my cousin Jonah. He's the complete opposite of Callum. Jonah is all about style. He turns up to a casual family barbecue dressed like he's about to walk a runway in Milan. Impeccable suit, polished shoes, not a hair out of place. He looks like £1,000,000, but there's a chink in his perfect armor Monopoly. He cannot win. Ever. He takes it so seriously, developing complex strategies, but always ends up bankrupt and landing on Mayfair with a hotel on it. The transformation is incredible. He goes from James Bond to a weeping child in the space of 2 hours. It's hilarious. It keeps him humble, I suppose. Eva is, without a doubt, the cleverest person in the family. She's got a brain the size of a planet. While the rest of us are arguing about who cheated at charades, she's quietly solving a Rubik's Cube with one hand and reading a book on quantum physics with the other. You can ask her anything and she'll know the answer. Eva, what's the capital of Burkina Faso? Ouagadougou. Eva, how do you fix the Wi-Fi? She'll just sigh, press 3 buttons, and it's working again. She's our secret weapon in pub quizzes. We'd be lost without her. She's proof that at least one of us was paying attention in school. And then we have Esther. Esther is effortlessly cool. She doesn't even have to try. She has that quiet confidence that makes everything she does seem cool. She'll turn up wearing something that looks like she found it in a bin, and somehow she makes it look like high fashion. She has the best taste in music and introduces us to bands we've never heard of. While Callum is raving to house music, Esther is chilling out to some obscure Icelandic folk band. She's the person you want to be when you grow up, even if you're already grown up. She just floats through life, unbothered and impossibly, undeniably cool. Rounding out the group is my cousin Edward and his fiancée Francesca. Edward is the funniest, not in a loud look-at-me way, but with his dry, witty one-liners. He'll just drop a comment into a conversation that's so sharp and unexpected, it takes you a second to register it, and then the whole room erupts in laughter. He's also a board game fanatic. He has a collection that could fill a small library. His idea of a perfect evening is introducing us to a complicated German strategy game that takes 3 hours to explain. We mostly just nod along, but his passion for it is brilliant.
His fiancée Francesca is a fantastic addition to the gang. She's a detective, which is as cool as it sounds. At first we were all a bit intimidated. We'd be telling a story and she'd just listen with this intense focus, like she was analyzing evidence. We were all on our best behavior. She also just got her British citizenship and we threw a massive party for her. Yvonne made a Union Jack cake and Callum played God Save the King on a loop. Francesca just laughed. She fits in perfectly. She has a great sense of humor and can hold her own in our chaotic debates, which is essential for survival.
And that leaves me, Jermaine. I'm the narrator of this madness, the one trying to make sense of it all. I'd say I'm the second coolest, right after Esther, obviously. I'm not as wild as Callum or as clever as Eva, but I like to think I'm the observer. I'm the one who sits back and just soaks it all in, collecting these little moments like treasures. Being with them is my favorite thing. It's a reminder that no matter what happens out there in the big, scary world, you've got this group of weirdos who have your back. It's a feeling of belonging that you can't get anywhere else. In the end, that's what it's all about, isn't it? Family. It's not about being perfect or agreeing on everything. It's about showing up. It's about sausage sandwiches in the garden, losing terribly at Monopoly, and laughing at stories you've heard a dozen times. These are the moments that make up a life. It's the shared history and the in-jokes that no one else would get. It's knowing that you have a place where you are loved, not in spite of your quirks, but because of them. That's the Cherry Grove Gang. Messy, loud, and the best thing in my world. Proper job,